welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly reading for February 15th to the 21st for Sagittarius. Alright? Alright, let's get right into it. We're going to pull out your 3 oracle cards, Sagittarius, and then we'll get into your animal spirits. And then let's get into your traditional spread. Alright? Let's see what Sagittarius is going through this week, February 15th to 21st. Show me. So we have Girl Talk, and we have Mirror, and we have Ascending. All right, so we're going to get into those once we get further into your reading, okay? Girl Talk, of course, is about spending time with friends, you know, doing some, you know, chatting, being happy to be with your girlfriends or your guy friends, what have you, you know, just having a very sort of light day, right? Certainly chatting about things that may not be so heavy, just kind of having fun. The Mirror, of course, talks about introspection, self-image, you know, how you're looking at yourself. And then Ascending is all about transcending obstacles, right? Of course, expanding, growing, getting ready to enter a new phase. So let's get your animal spirits out, Sagittarius, and see what they have in store for you this week. The dolphin, associated with healing and water energy. We have the zebra. I love this card. This is the eccentric, the quirky one. And we have the bat. And the bat, of course, is the darkness before the dawn. So let me just move these up a little bit because we're going to be needing some room for the rest of the cards. All right, so let's get into Dolphin first. The Dolphin, of course, is a water animal spirit, and it's one of the highest cards in the deck for healing. It's the Dolphin's great empathy that really sort of, it's sensitivity and empathy that allows it to sort of provide exactly what is needed in any given situation for healing, right? It's very, very nice card. Definitely talking about sort of understanding, right? Now, the dolphin, of course, could be sort of, the spirit of the dolphin can come in as a person or just an event, right? Or an activity that comes into your life that sort of acts in a way to heal you. And it may be in a very unexpected way, right? Just as it is quite unexpected for humans to, you know, rehabilitate themselves by swimming with dolphins. It's a very outside of the box thought, right? I'm sure 100 years ago it wasn't something that was necessarily considered. And so this event or activity that may come in could be something very much outside the box for you, Sagittarius, but it's definitely a vehicle for you to heal some of the areas in your life and in your psyche. Now, the zebra. The zebra is associated, or the zebra, as the English like to call it. The zebra is associated with fire energy, and it is the quirky one. The goofy, not even so much goofy, but quirky, you know, very eccentric, you know, brings a high level of creativity to anything that it does. The zebra is just someone that is just delightful to be around, and his quirkiness and his eccentricity is very contagious. It can make you really sort of feel like exploring that side of yourself, right? His third eye, you can see the triangle with the colors of creativity at his third eye. And so the zebra is one of these creatures that is so highly creative, right? You know, creativity is such a part of its DNA, as it were, that it is also connected to its sort of higher self, its intuition, its extrasensory perceptions, right? The zebra has an extreme talent for finding out or seeking out the most creative solutions or the most creative activities, or taking any activity that maybe it's a part of, like a group activity or a project. And the spirit of the zebra knows how to, knows intuitionally the perfect way to go, the perfect way to sort of increase the creative communication, as it were, right? Zebras have the incredible ideas, ideas that nobody else would think of, but ideas that work, right? And they always work, but they are oftentimes outside of the box. Now, the bat. The bat is, of course, an air animal spirit, and the bat is associated with the darkness before the dawn. And so it talks about that time in our lives that sometimes can be quite dark just before the dawn, just before new growth or new realization comes in. The bat is able to go out into the darkness, though, and seek out all of the little hidden things and sort of, look at them. Right? Or not even shine a light on them, but to see them. The bat is able to see things hidden in the dark. And those things that are hidden in the dark, and what I mean by hidden, I mean things that may be hidden in our psyche or in the back of our minds, emotions or ideas that we have sort of held on to, but we didn't realize we were holding on to. And it sort of has a way of sort of seeking the spirit of the bat has a way of seeking those things out and bringing them to our attention so we know that they're there. And of course, this is necessary in order for you to have a new dawn or a fresh start, In order to have a fresh start, you really have to know everything about where you're coming from and what things you've left perhaps behind or what things are lingering, right? Whether they are behaviors or attitudes, right, that may be lingering. It's good to know those things, and it's good to know those things about yourself so that when you are entering into a new phase, you're not blindsided by something that rears its ugly head from your past. Now let's get right into your spread, Sagittarius. I'm going to pull out 3 forecasts for you. And this weekend, I'm going to be working on the March monthly love readings as well as finishing up the abundance and career readings. So do check me out in the coming days. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I concentrate on the weekly readings for the following week. All right, Sagittarius. We have King of Pentacles, Lovers, Ace of Pentacles. All right, well, the King of Pentacles is certainly someone who's doing very well financially. Oftentimes, they can be a benefactor to someone else or an investor. This is the energy that you're coming into the week with, Sagittarius. So this is going to be a Sagittarius who's already experienced a level of success, who is certainly at the top of their field when it comes to career or business and has excellent sort of judgment in that area. And you've got your eye, I think, on a particular goal, right? The King of Pentacles is always trying to sort of expand his, not even necessarily his wealth, but sort of expand his sort of, I want to say, accomplishments in the material world, right? So it's not always about sort of increasing the abundance that's coming in, but the King of Pentacles loves to have more projects, loves to invest in things, loves to keep sort of pushing forward as far as productivity is concerned with regard to his career or business. And oftentimes he has his eye on a new sort of goal or objective. Coming into the week with this, you're met with Lover's energy. And for some of you, it could very well be that you are, Lovers is interesting. You could be in a relationship, or you could be certainly thinking on working on a relationship that you are having. Major Arcana 6 in the Lover's card really talks about the work that's involved in a successful relationship, the work that is involved in a union, what is necessary, the understanding that both partners in this union have something that the other partner needs, right? And oftentimes there is a feeling of really needing to understand each other and to give and take, right? Lovers is the card for Gemini. And so if you think about it this way, the two, a union is oftentimes two halves, right, of a whole, but those halves aren't identical. They're different. They're both equal, and they both are necessary to, they both need each other to make the whole, but they're both very different, and they have to understand their differences. If you think about, a puzzle piece, or if you think about, if you take a heart and you rip it in half, and the edges, right? The edges form together and make that whole again. It's just like a puzzle piece where there is a hole or a gap in one piece, the other piece fills it, right? And it's vice versa. So just like puzzle pieces, the Lover's card, talks about that. It talks about how we fit together, and how our differences is what fits together to make a whole, and the understanding that is necessary for that. And I think for some of you, you may have a love connection that you need to work on, that you're working on, that maybe not even that you need to work on, but that needs a little bit of thought and effort put into that area. It could be that right now you guys are not understanding each other quite so well. You may not be exactly on the same page right now. And in any case, this is the energy that you're meeting. And I think it could very well be Sagittarius, because it may just be because of your career outlook or your business outlook that there may have been a difference, right? Or there may have been some kind of misunderstanding or something that's come in the way of this union that needs to be worked on. It could be that your lover is not understanding your career outlook, right? Or that you are requiring them to, or maybe that you don't understand their career outlook, but there's something to do with your business and career that is somehow impacting the Lover's connection. You round the week off with an Ace of Pentacles, which is a new opportunity. It could very well be that a new opportunity is coming to your life, and it's something that you really need to speak to your better half or your other half, with, right? If you're married or if you're in a long-term committed relationship, which the Lover's cards definitely indicates it's a committed relationship. This new opportunity in your career or business is something that is impacting it, and it's something that you both really need to talk about, because your eye is firmly set on it, right? You want it. You want to go forward with it, and of course you need the support of your lover or your partner to be comfortable to do that, right? And so it's something that you're going to have to definitely talk about. Eight of Pentacles, Temperance energy, and 10 of Cups. Well, Temperance is your card, Sagittarius. And I'm a Sagittarius myself, so just so you know, full disclosure. Eight of Pentacles is all about the discipline that we put in place to get something done, to get the job done, to get the labor done. It is extremely, I want to say, purposeful, focused, intentional. It's when you really are sort of, right now, it's all about the work, right? You're not allowing anything to distract you or to get in the way of that. And so you're busy with that. You come into the week, you have Temperance. I feel like this week coming up, there is a lot of Temperance that has to be put in place. I know this is your card, but the energy of Temperance is really sort of not being sort of controlled by, events outside of ourselves, not being controlled by the energy that, or the energy or the attitudes of people around us, not reacting to it. Temperance is the ability to have control over yourself and to be able to be 100% in charge and intentional about everything that you say and do, and not to be reactive. It could be that events are coming in this week that are very difficult, and you're going to have to keep that tempered sort of medium. Stay strong, stay confident, don't react. Things will work out. But I think this week is a difficult week for you. There may be a lot of ups and downs. There may be a lot of things that are happening right now that are maybe causing you to doubt yourself, especially with regard to your work, right? Certainly if you're coming into the week with this heavy work vibe, outlook, it could be that, while you're going through the details of working every day and just knuckling down, at the same time, maybe money is going up and down. Maybe things aren't exactly where you want them to be, but nevertheless, the work has to be done. Almost makes me feel like if you're running a business, you're going to have slow weeks. You're going to have slow times. You're going to have times where you have to tweak a few things to get the best out of them. And so don't, try not to react to what's going on around you and try to stay even keel. 10 of Cups is how you round off your week, and that is a real sense of completion and happiness. And I want to say, certainly with regard to a love connection, it is a feeling of commitment and having everything that you need to move forward. It's quite interesting that you have a 10 of Cups in a spread like this, which is essentially about your career. It could be also that part of what you are trying to achieve with your career and business here is the basis for your ability to move forward with a commitment in love. It could be that you are trying to, right now you're trying to establish a power base, or, establish financial stability, right? Career stability. All of that. It could be that your focus is on that because that's what's necessary for you to be comfortable with your family or your lover moving forward, right? For the happiness of the family, you're doing the work here. And it works out, you accomplish what you desire, but it's like right now it feels very much like this is a reading for a Sagittarius who's really working their ass off to sort of make everything good for them and their family. And you're just going through a lot this coming week of anxiety, perhaps, and some ups and downs, where you are, in fact, having to remain tempered, having to sort of remain even, and having to remain focused. It's a very nice reading, but it's going to be a difficult week for some of you Sagittariuses. 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords, and the World. Well, 2 sevens in the World. 7 is the number for dreams and aspirations. 7 of Pentacles is all about reevaluating where you're at in this life right now with regard to your career or your business. Feeling like maybe you're not exactly where you want to be, or maybe the rewards that have started to come in for you aren't exactly what you expected them to be after all of the hard work you've done. This can be a feeling of wanting to change careers sometimes, or change the path in your career. You have a 7 of Swords that you come into this week, and 7 of Swords is a feeling of futility. It is the card for futility, and it's the card for futility because if we don't take the right steps, the methodical sort of thought out and focused, intentional steps towards achieving something, our efforts are not going to work. That's what futility is all about. Cutting corners. Cutting corners doesn't work. You can see this is the Thief in the Night. This is also the card for treachery, but I don't feel like that is necessarily what's there. It could be that this week, again, a lot of you may be wanting to have conversations with friends to help you get through the week. Certainly with the spreads before and this spread, it's a difficult week. It's a week of really navigating some ups and downs, right? And that's usually how it goes. It's like you go up and down, up and down, up and down, and then you have a big increase, And, if you're at this level kind of back and forth, and then you have that big jump, and then you're at that level, and now you're kind of going up and down in that level, and then you jump up. You see what I mean? That's a kind of like, so a lot of times there's going to be some tricky energies right before you have a big boost. And so this week in this particular spread, I'm going to say for some of you, you may want to talk to friends or take a moment off to really think about, are you actually really putting the effort in that you need to put in to achieve what you want? Perhaps what you have now is not where you want to be, because it could be that up until now you haven't really put the right effort in, or the right focus in, or maybe you have been, you know, cutting corners. Seven of Swords is the tortoise and the hare. And a lot of you, if you know that story, the tortoise and the hare, there's a race between the tortoise and the hare. And of course, the hare thinks he should win by virtue of his speed. He's so much faster than the tortoise. And so instead of just working towards the finish line, he takes a break, he takes a nap, and, you know, and then he tries to, at the last minute, hurry up and do something, you know, to go ahead and win the race. But ultimately, the tortoise wins the race because the tortoise is the one who's been the most methodical and consistent, and the hare hasn't. And you just don't win that way. And this is where we see futility coming in. The World card is all about feeling like you are exactly where you should be. So for a lot of you, although you may be feeling, if you're resonating with this spread, although you may be feeling a little bit disheartened about where you are, and you may be realizing this week that some of your efforts weren't at the level that they should be, you do, however, overall feel as though that you are exactly where you should be in your life. And so this is a good thing, because it just means that you need to make a few adjustments, right? The World card also talks about fate having his eyes on you. And so in a lot of ways, it could be that this week, even realizing that some of your efforts weren't maybe at the level they should be is part of sort of fate showing you what you need. And I think that this is how it feels for you, Sagittarius. It's almost as if the not only the ups but the downs seem destined, because you already know that what's going to come out of realizing the downs, or realizing the downsides, or realizing the areas in which you're lacking is just one more thing that's going to get you to your goal. And so it's an acceptance of everything in our lives having a purpose towards getting us to where we want to be. And this is a realization. I'm going to say for a lot of you, this will be a real awakening to this side of yourself, that perhaps you need to be a little bit more intentional and focused and methodical and committed in certain areas to get what you want. But just even having that understanding is going to be a real boost for you, because it isn't that you lack the talent or the understanding. It's just that you need to refocus your energy, right? So that it is more consistent. A lot of this has to do with the mirror as well, and ascending, just having a self-realization about yourself, you know. All right, guys, this is your reading, February 15th to the 21st for Sagittarius. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share. But for right now, guys, I'm just going to say have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week for your weekly outlook. Bye-bye now.